Hello, everyone. How are you? How are you? Welcome to Drama Free Friday. Hi, Vicky. Welcome to Drama Free Friday. Hello, AJ. Nancy Dale. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Tony and Lori and All Thumbs. I forgot what your name is. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Gail. Can you tell by the flannel shirt? We went from summer, like burning up summer, to it was like 40 degrees last night. I shouldn't complain. I'm happy. Of course, now I'm hot, so I may have to get rid of the flannel shirt. It's on to protect the shirt underneath. Let's see. Gail. Hi, Mary. Rain. All Thumbs is Robin. Did I write that in my list? Let me see. In my secret book. That's not so secret. Don't think I did. I'll put you in my book. That doesn't mean I'm going to remember. But I will try. After a few times, I usually get it. Let's see. Hi, Marion. Did I say hi, Cindy? Hi, Deb and Kathy. The reason I'm leaning over here is because that's where my chat computer is. It's over there. Let's see. Pamela. Welcome, welcome. Hey, Suzanne. Nanette. Haven't seen you for a while, Nanette. And by the way, let me get rid of my watch so it doesn't alert me to stuff. Be right back. So those of you watching the recording, this is recorded live. I'm chatting with a bunch of people. So if you are watching the recording, just scroll on by for a while. Let's see. Back at the hellos. Joan. Hey, Joan. Joan's over in the UK. Good to see you. Let's see. Tony, I think I said hello to you, but hello again. Franna, good to see you. Hey, Shauna. Sorry, I keep losing my scroll. Keeps going. Choop. Hey, Joycey. Able to Rejoice is known as Noodle, a.k.a. Joycey. Hi, Joni. Sharon. Boy, bunch of people here. Hey, Janice. If I miss saying hello to you, please excuse me. I do my best. Hi, Deborah. Brittany. Tracy. I see some new names here. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Mindy. Mitzi is actually Mindy, just so you know. But a lot of times we just call her Mitzi. Hi, Thelma. Okay, I think I got to the bottom of the list. Anywho, so it's good to see you all today. And anybody that comes in, welcome, welcome, welcome each other, okay? Clausman. Hi, Dorothy. You'll take all the hellos I want to throw out there. Hi, Betty Joe. You're new? Well, welcome. Do you want to be called Betty Joe? Bet? Betty? You put it in the chat and I'll try to remember. What was I going to... I just jumped the track. The train left the station and then promptly jumped the track. So, anywho, got it right, Betty Joe. Okay, cool. God, what was I going to say? Anyway, Clausman's in the house. He is monitoring behind the scenes. So, hi, Koala, also known as Helen. And so I'm so glad you all are here. Thank you for joining me. I do try to say hello to everybody, but sometimes I just flat out miss it. Once I get started doing something, I just miss it. Yes. So, update on the craziness and that's known as life around here. I am doing fine. I'm feeling good. My hair is kind of doing its own thing today, but oh well. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Much better. Back to what I would say normal. The doctor kicked me loose and discharged me, so that is excellent. And yes, I'm feeling almost back to normal. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Those of you, there was Linda Green and I don't think I have the other name here. Linda Green and Hairfish, Hippy Dippy Hairfish, both won journals last month, or not last month. Well, it was last month, but it was like 2 weeks ago. I have not mailed them yet. I do have both of your addresses. They will go out here in just a couple days. I just have had so much stuff I've had to... Details, people. Details. Details. I'm telling you. Hi, Rain. Yeah, we've just had so many blooming details that had to be taken care of. And our son was home, and which is wonderful. And then also, we had more stuff to take care of while he was here. And he helped us get a car because he knows more stuff about cars today than I do. My former car, which didn't have a lot of miles on it, was old. It was a 2003. That was the one that got sent to the great car graveyard somewhere because the lady ran over me. Not me personally, but crashed my car. Anyway, so between then and now, cars have changed a lot. I'm just saying. Now I'm driving a computer on wheels, and it's like, what happened? I should get a car more often, so I keep up with things, So yeah, I am much better. Hi, Lori. Oh, good. Welcome. I'm glad you're here, Lori. Who else did I miss? Anybody? Susan? Yeah, so I know. Kimberly, hello. I was. That's why I wasn't here on my regularly scheduled time. I did talk about it in the previous stream. Anyway, so that's why the journals that you guys, we did a drawing, and that's why you guys haven't gotten your journals. If Inez Sear happens to listen to this or watch this, you were the third winner of the journals, and I don't have your address. So this is a direct note to Inez. You need to go to the website, which is HowToGetCreative.com, and then if you just scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see a form, a thing that says Contact Us, or sometimes you'll see the tab on the side of the window, and you can click that. Just fill that out and just say you were the winner and give me your address. Okay, so yeah. Any hoot, that is that. Hi, Shu. Yeah, so yeah, it was a little crazy. Oh, AJ went from 2002 to 2020. Yeah. I didn't go quite to 2020. We did a 2017, and so that was a huge jump, people. Huge jump, people. Humongous jump. I mean, it has, we didn't even get the fanciest thing out there by any means, My list of needs when it comes to a car is relatively, it's a pretty short list. Now, what our son, and I'm just tearing some stuff out of these while I'm chatting with you, while everybody gets here. My list of needs when it comes to a car is pretty short. Now, the list of requirements according to the son, also known as race, also known as the technical department, who assures me that he can flip a switch and everything will go away. His list of requirements is much longer than mine. Mine is has to have air conditioning and heating. I found out that a heater was pretty important because my other car the heater had gone away the last couple of years, which is apparently a problem with that car. Fortunately, the winters weren't horrible. But anyway, yeah, so we were going to have to repair the heating coil or something in this particular car that we had. I mean, no, you're not here for car talk, but oh well. Yeah, they have to like take the dash out and do all kinds of shenanigans. So replacing something which should be pretty easy was going to be pretty expensive in that car, which is why we just sort of, you know how it is, you just put it off. There's always something else you'd rather spend your money on than a car, right? Yeah. So anywho, hi Becky, and anybody that I miss, please know that I'm glad you're here. I'm glad all of you are here. I'm so grateful that you take your time to be here. Quite honestly, I'm grateful to be here. The details in this stuff, oh my gosh. That accident totally, and this sounds goofy because as accidents go, it was fairly minor, although it totaled my car. It totally derailed me, folks. Totally. I mean, I couldn't even think. Couldn't even think. Anyway, I'm back to thinking. I'm back to thinking, I think. Although, if Race shows up in the chat, you'll ask him. He'll probably have a different opinion. Yeah. He contacts me every few days and says, so what's your internal state like? Everybody else says, how are you? He says, what's your internal state like? Ah, shoot. Anyway, is that funny or what? Hi, Nina or Nina. So, yeah, what I'm doing while I'm talking to you is, well, actually, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. I'm just ripping the words out of, these are our Mandala Madness cards. It's a subtle commercial. It's a subtle commercial. Not so subtle. If you don't have a deck or two of the Mandala Madness cards, you need them because they are a great art supply. Even if you're not a mandala kind of person or a mandala kind of person or a mandala kind of person, depending on who you are, where you're from, and how you like to say it. Anyway, they are a really good source of art supplies as well as providing inspiration and so forth. So what I'm doing is I'm ripping the words off. I'm ripping the words off and putting them in this little cup. That's what I'm doing while I'm chatting with you. So if you have anything to say, be sure you put it in all caps so that I know. Betty Jo says, kids always have a different opinion. Isn't that the truth? And kids and grandkids and, yeah, you know. He said to me the other day, he says, well, you've kept yourself in pretty good shape for somebody your age. Or something like that, which just made me laugh, you know. And I remember those days where you think your parents are just like, you know, one foot in the grave, 1 foot out of the grave, you know how that goes. Anyway, uh-oh, is Race here and I'm talking about him? But I believe he is, because Nightbot just clicked in. I bet that's Race behind the scenes, because I'm not doing it. We'll call him out. Hi, Melody. You like your cards? I'm so glad. I'm so glad. And Nightbot, when you see Nightbot come up, hello, Creative Wings. I'm sorry, I forgot your name again. Right, Becky. Gee, thanks. When you see Nightbot in the chat, Nightbot is simply the thing that gets programmed behind the scenes so that it saves me from having to repeat something over and over. Nightbot will do it instead. Oh yeah, Nancy Dale, you should get more than one because that way you can tear them up and use them. You have one to tear up and one to keep. Okay. So, and I'm sorry if I have the throat clearing issue today. Dream a little dream, have a little tea. Grandma is old. Well, who wants to hear that anyway? Okay. So tomorrow is the VIP class. We're back on schedule. VIP members, your email should have already landed in your email inbox with information for your class in case any of you are here that don't know what in the world I'm talking about. I am, and I didn't even tell you who I was. I guess most of you know. My name is Barb Owen, and I am from HowToGetCreative.com. And How to Get Creative is a membership website. And we have several levels of membership, and the level that I'm dealing with tomorrow is the VIP group. And so once a month they get a free class. Well, it's a class that's included with their membership. Saying it was a free class, that was kind of redundant, or misleading or whatever. Anyway, you know what I mean. As my mother used to say, take me for what I mean, not for what I say. Any of your mothers say that? Yes, so your class is tomorrow. And so there is a monthly class, which is what I should have said. So the class is tomorrow, and I'll show you what we're going to be doing here in a little bit. Dorothy got it? Okay. Hi, Debbie. And hi, Dar. So anyway, that has landed in your inbox tomorrow, which is great. And so I do have something I thought I would show you before we get started. The project I'm going to do today, I don't have any idea how far we're going to get with it. We'll just go, for a while. But I thought I would show you this thing that I did a long time ago. And this is Drama Free Friday, by the way, which we leave the drama to other streams and so forth. Drama free means we don't do politics, religion, anything that tends to be kind of inflammatory. We just leave it somewhere else, Once in a while, there's some drama in the world we have to sort of address, and it's like the elephant in the room. Like last couple of weeks ago, it was like, where's Barb been? So we had to address that. But anyway, that's all over with. Okay? Say what you mean what you say. Yeah, that was another one. My mom had all these things that she would say to me. She had all of these things that she would say to me. And I swore up, down, inside out, sideways, and every other way, I was never going to say those things to my kid. I was never going to think those things. I was never going to repeat them because I was so sick and tired of hearing them. Guess what? Yeah, every once in a while they roll out of my mouth. Hello, Malia. Yeah, think before you say is always good advice. Always good advice, right? Did I miss Penny coming in? Hello, Penny. Good to see you. Okay, so anyway, I thought some of you might not know that I still am, I just don't do as much of it, but I used to be quite a doll maker. I did a lot of cloth dolls. Hello, Joy. Joey. Anyway, welcome. Hi, Irma. Welcome. So anyway, I did a lot of dolls back in a few years ago, and I created doll patterns and so forth. And every once in a while I still do dolls because I still really like them, but I prefer to think of them now more as muses because dolls really do reflect what's going on inside of you. And some of you may not like that or may not agree with it. The first time somebody told me that, I was like, what? And then I realized that they were saying the truth. They were telling me the truth. So anyway, this back before I started doing any of that, and I had an online business before online businesses were, I sound like the girl with the country song, I sang country before country was cool, or who was it did that? Marie Osmond did that. something about country. She was country before country was cool or something like that. I kind of feel like that about the internet. Yeah, I had an online business. I was teaching online. This is gonna validate what my son says. I was teaching online before there was video, before online stuff was video capable. So yeah, he's probably right. I probably am like ancient. I probably am ancient. Anyway, so even before I was doing the patterns of the online pattern business and teaching online, I was part of a couple of groups online. And so I thought I would show you this because I don't know if I've ever shown you this. This was a contest that I entered, and I'm going to show it to you the way it was presented, and then I'm going to take the front out of it because the front is plexiglass or something, and it's really highly reflective, so it will drive us all crazy. But I'm going to show it to you the way it is to begin with, okay? So let me just get things set here a little bit, just a little minute, trying to get stuff out of the way. Well, you're just going to have to deal with what's in the background, okay? Just ignore what's in the background when you see it. Okay, here we go. So this was, and I realize it's a weird angle, and I will take the glass or the front of it out here in just a second. Hey, Laura. Just checking the chat for a minute. Sorry. Hello. Hello. Anyway, so what we have here is, this was a challenge or it was a contest, I guess, that I entered. And so this is the name of it. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is going to go away here in a minute. But this was called the Deadline. And this was called the Miniature Cloth Doll. Let's see, what was it? The Miniature Doll Challenge is what it was called. Okay, Miniature Doll Challenge. And so it is, I did mine as a room. And I'll take you through it and show it to you in detail here in a minute. So, yeah. So there is, just so you kind of get the whole feeling of it. So I'm going to take it apart. And the box, the room part of it, was made by Clausman, who is in the chat, also known as my husband. And he brilliantly put this together so that I could take it apart and remove this is plexiglass. I could remove this and repair it in case anything got messed up, which of course it did. And so by the time I got it back, because I didn't have it back for quite a while, by the time I got it back, it was pretty messed up. Not terribly messed up, but when you have something that hangs and swings like that, it tends to get, a little messed up. So anyway, this was my entry, and it was called the Deadline, and I am not a miniaturist at all. And so when I tip this, the lamp, the little Tiffany lamp thing is going to go haywire. But I'm just going to let you see it, and then we'll zoom in. We'll see how close we can get. I don't know how close we can get to it. But some things never change in my life, and being on a deadline is one of those things. Yeah. So this was made as though she were in a high-ceilinged room, and she was getting ready for a doll show. So that is, Betty just started her journey in making cloth dolls too. Ah, cool. Well, this was sponsored by a lady named Barbara Graff. And okay, let's see how close we can get here. So you can see a little, and pardon the swinging lamp, but that's just, maybe I can hold it up. Barbara Graff I'll show you. This is how long ago the cloth doll thing was going on. Let's see if I can show you this. This was the book that she created. Wait a minute, let me get rid of this. Sorry, this will help. So this was a book. It was a book that she did herself. And it was for making cloth dolls. That is the author of the book, for making miniature cloth dolls. And so this whole thing was sponsored by this person. And so there were patterns in here. And so you could enter this contest, challenge, whatever. Yeah, they called it a challenge, but you could enter it and use the patterns that she created and included, or you could do your own. So I used her patterns, and so my character, again, you're just gonna have to look around the swinging lamp. My character, which ended up looking like me, because I wore red glasses at the time. Hey, Linda. And anybody else I missed. Hi, Pam. I just saw your name in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So she is, she's in her dining room, I guess, working away. And it is, you'll see the time here in just a minute on a clock. But I just made all these little dolls. Some of them are finished. The one that looks like, is supposed to look like me, except back when she had dark hair. I didn't really intend that it was going to be me, but it ended up to kind of be me. The little pictures in there they came out of various magazines that I framed and put on the wall. So you can see that there are a couple of dolls, several dolls back here. These are all finished dolls. So are the ones in the front. There's a Raggedy Ann and a clown. And some of these I bought, some of them I made, as I recall. It's been a while. But all of the little miniature things, miniature pieces, I collected forever and a day. These are all scraps, bona fide scraps from my own stuff. There's a paper bag that has fabric in it. Threads all over the place because that's typical. Here's the time. So this was a kind of a pathetic excuse for an alarm clock, but it was too late when I was doing this. It was too late, and I needed to indicate the time. Why was it called the deadline? Because I was up making dolls at 3:30 a.m. So she's got a rug and she's got flooring. The wallpaper over here and the flooring came from the miniature section of a craft store. So I collected all this jazz. The sewing machine. I had a couple of sewing machines that I collected. This is funny. This whole thing was done in, I think it was 1997. And as you can see, now I've always had cats, but I've never had a Siamese cat until the sponsors came. But this apparently was foreshadowing of things yet to come. Apparently things yet to come, because that is clearly a Siamese cat. Little mug. I love my cat. There's a golden retriever down here holding a basket that has a kitten in it. This contest was sponsored by a company called Airtex. And Airtex is a type of fiber fill. And so I made a miniature bag. I created that somehow. I don't even know how I did it now, of Airtex, so that it was front and center. These are little tiny cards of buttons. Here's more doll bodies waiting to be finished into dolls stacked up on the chair. Back in the back, you'll see back here there are little paper bags that have doll supplies in them. My head's going to get in the way here for a second. This one has like hair materials and stuff. So shopping bags in the back. There's a calendar on the wall. There's patterns, doll patterns up on a, see if I can, I don't know if I can move this where, I'm trying to, clearly, I don't know how to show this to you. Okay, maybe there. So there is a bulletin board back here with inspiration on it. There's a calendar, so I'm counting down the days, and the one that is circled is actually the day that I had to send this whole thing off. It had to be shipped to the contest person. There's a corner cupboard back here that has, and all of these are pretty much, all of these little bits and pieces of furniture and stuff I collected. None of them are good pieces. This was broken off. The door was broken off when I got it back. That's why the nasty glue job. That is why I hate hot glue. See how awful that is? Repaired it with hot glue. Big mistake. But it's holding now. But up on the top, there are some rolls of fabric. There's some bolts of fabric. There's a little, there's magazines on the shelf. That's what's there, is magazines on the shelf. There's fuzzy fabric. There's all kinds of things. Then over on this side, there's a framed picture of Raggedy Ann back here and some chairs. And this is a photo album that I actually got in a miniature section someplace. It even had, I think it had Missouri on it, which is the state that I live in. And it had postcards. It had all different kinds of postcards. And so the postcards, you know, because I'm not a scrapbook person, and so those postcards need to be put in the album. So it's another project waiting for me to do. There's cards of buttons on the table, or the chair. Back in the back on the floor, I don't know if you can tell, there's an extra sewing machine back there on the floor, because you've got to have an extra sewing machine if you're doing a contest. Hey, Jan. So like I said, this is old, and this is all clearly put together with hot glue. It's not very well done, as far as the you can see some globs of glue here and there. But anyway, at the time, so there it is, 1997. At the time, you know, it was the best that I could do, right? And so these are the prizes I won. These are my prizes right here. So I'll tell you what I won. And I like her. She has a tape measure draped over her arm, so I'll let you see her here. I stuck this is how I got the award. I got the award on a typewritten piece of paper. In the category of non-original pattern, I won first place. In the category of presentation, I won third place. And those are the prizes. It's like, are you kidding? Okay. Seriously? Could you not send me like a bag of stuffing or something? Oh, yeah, I'm sticking this in the back. I put an envelope on the back so I'd have it in here. I mean, really, people. Okay? Really, could you not send me a bag of stuffing? Yeah. Anyway, it did get pictured in a magazine, which I thought, I looked around here. I have the magazine somewhere, unless I threw it out. I don't know. But anyway, yeah. It was fun. I enjoyed it. But it was a little crackers, if you ask me. I'll get late, see it again. It was a little crackers, if you ask me, that, you know, you go to that amount of work and that amount of expense for these little bowls with, you know, handwritten whatever on them. Thanks, Jan. So anyway, that's the stuffing company that sponsored it. I didn't even get a bag of stuffing. Yeah, but I got, you know, I got what I got. Anyhow, I just thought I saw it, I thought about it, and I thought, oh, I've got to show it to you guys, just because. So I'm going to put it back put my maybe. Back in there. And I'm going to just quickly put this back together, because if I don't, I'm afraid I will lose the things. Give it a blue ribbon. That's right. So anyway, I just thought I would show it to you. I thought you guys might enjoy seeing that. So that is, and I was creating dolls several years before that. I've always been an avid doll person. As a kid, I loved dolls. You couldn't see what I was pointing at. So anyway, yeah. So there is my, that is my, I'll let you see it now. It's going to reflect terribly because I put the plexiglass back in. But anyhow, that is what I called the deadline. And so it went around wherever it had to go. I think it went on tour, but I don't know. Anyway, it came back. It was in a little bit of sad shape, but we got it put back together. So let me move this out of the way. The bowls, I know, hysterical, right? I know, funny stuff. Anyway, I thought you guys would get a charge out of that. Hi, Krissa. Hi, Diane. Just so funny. Just so funny. Anyway. Okay. So I hope you guys have been having a really good couple weeks since I saw you last. Seemed like I just streamed, but that's because I did 2 weeks ago. Okay. Anything else I have to show you? I'll give you a quick look at the VIP projects, because I need to get this off my table. And then I do have a couple of fun things to show you about. And then we'll do a little project. Some dolls were very naughty. I understand. This is probably going to reflect also in the camera. That's not too bad. So what we're going to be doing tomorrow in the VIP class is we're going to be working with a mixed media piece and some Zentangling. And it can be done different ways. So this is an ornament, but some of my favorite things to work with are hands. So that is VIP class tomorrow. So I have a couple of books, or a couple of things to show you. So we're going to do that next. Yeah, I love the cup too. I do too, Krissa. Absolutely. Okay. So I bought this book several weeks ago, and I was putting things away, and I saw it, and I thought, oh, I should show this to you guys, because I know there are the sloth, which is a hard word for me to say for some unknown reason, is quite a popular figure now. I mean, there are calendars of sloths. There is, I think a lot of it has to do with the slow movement. And, oh, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. These are, the sloths are, this is just a fun little book. So I found this, and I had to bring it home with me. Slow down and smell the hibiscus. There you go. Aren't they funny looking creatures? I will tell you. They are some goofy looking little creatures. And this little book is, I love inspirational books with quotes and so forth. So this was right up my alley, because I do believe in slowing down. Sometimes I do well slowing down, sometimes not. Sometimes things make you slow down, right? Yes. They're cute but creepy. I know. Little cute, little creepy. The thing that makes them so odd to me is that their eyes and their nose are pretty much all in a line. I just think that's just, a little creepy. Anyway, there are all different kinds of, or several different kinds anyway, of sloths. There's 3-toed ones and 2-toed ones, as I found out when I was reading this. But some of these are they're just so funny, you know, to look at the pictures and read the quotes. I thoroughly enjoy quotes and anything that's inspirational. So I'm just going to leave. I mean, isn't that a funny picture? Just so goofy. But I love the inspirational quotes. Look at that. I mean, you know, sleep's what we need. It produces an emptiness in us, and into which sooner or later energies flow. And here is the hibiscus. And this was interesting. Sloths subsist on a lean and green, low-energy diet of leaves that provide them with just 160 calories a day. Their only indulgence is the occasional hibiscus flower, the equivalent of sloth chocolate, which they eat petal by petal. So they really enjoy their hibiscus. Yeah, they enjoy their hibiscus. But look at that. Doesn't he look like a little stuffed animal? For fast-acting relief, try slowing down. But look. There is no hurry. We shall get there someday. So I'm just going to leaf through this just so you can see, or page through it. Just so you can see. It's just a cute, cute little book with some things that make you, I mean, I'm not particularly attracted to the sloth, but this little book made me stop and look at it. Made me look at it. And so I had to bring it home, and I had to get one for someone else as well, just because. But it's got lots of pages and lots of pictures, and at the end of the book, it tells you some very interesting things about the sloth. I mean, there's a few things sprinkled around in the book as well. Always wear a smile. They do they do look like they're always smiling, you know. Aren't they funny? There he is having another hibiscus. So anyway, just a fun, I'll just kind of page through it this way so you can see. So you can see some of them are 2-toed, and then some of them you'll see have 3 toes. So interesting. Very interesting. I thought. I didn't have a clue. So there are lots of different, I don't even know what the right word is. We'll find out here in a minute. Then there's some information about them somewhere. Was it at the end? Somewhere in here. Here we go. I think it's right here. All of these were hold on, I'm scanning this. There is a Sloth Conservation Foundation. I didn't know about that. And these were all rescued. All of these photographs in here were with rescued sloths. So I just thought that was an interesting book. It does make you, I like little books like this because they just make you kind of have a different perspective. So isn't it cute? Yep. Another thing I wanted to point out to you, if you've got to have this book, there is a link to it in the description box below the video, just in case you decide that you have to have one of these books. There is a link below the video. You can click on the description box and you'll find it down there. I do that linking stuff to make it easy for you. So yeah, that's where it is. If you want to explore the links, help yourself. And if you don't, that's okay too. This is another thing that I just got. I had seen these before, but I just finally got them. And those of you who enjoy circular designs, I think will, and also those of you who like graph paper, this is a cool book. It's 8.5 by 8.5. It's circular grid sketchbook from Koala Tools. There is a link in the description box for 3 of these. Now, I will tell you, the cover is really flimsy. It is not even, well, it's about the same weight as the craft paper that you get at a craft store, like the craft cardstock. Hello, Christy. Hi, Barbara. Anybody I missed? Hello, hello, welcome, welcome. And so this is it's a fun little book, and so I thought I would show it to you. And hopefully it will show up enough so you can see. But the grid is, these are not necessarily what I would call super, what do we say? They're okay, but they could probably use a little improvement in making them a little more substantial. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. Anywho, so they're not going to show a lot because the graph markings are in blue, and they have the degrees around the outside edge. So if you enjoy plotting out like mandalas or other kinds of designs that are based around a circle, it's a really fun, I know, isn't it fun? Christy, I thought you would like that too. Hi, Lisa. Excuse me. But the paper is very thin, okay? It is, you do have the graph or the design on both sides. If you use anything with any amount of pigment, like gel pens or felt tip markers or anything like that, it is going to go straight through. So you're going to lose the back side of the paper, just so you know. And I would also put something back here to, and this is going to drive the camera absolutely crazy, so we're going to just have to look at this because it's going to, it has nothing, the camera has nothing to focus on. But it will go right through into the next page. So if you enjoy working on things like this, which I think this is a great tool, honestly, because it would help, it saves you from having to lay out all the grid lines and so forth. If you do something based on an even number of sections, like I really like working with odd numbers of sections, that's not going to work so well for this, but for even numbers it's great. Pardon the thing here, I'm just trying to give the camera something to focus on. Anyway, it has a lot of pages. It has 60 pages, and the back cover, it does show you some other things that you can use it for. And so you can check out KoalaTools.com. The link that I put in the description box below the video is an Amazon link. Linda's lurking. She's in sloth mode. So what I wanted to show you, this is a different one, just so that you could see. I have an HP 4650 printer, which is super inexpensive. I just wanted you to see, and I'm going to see if this will show when I zoom in. No, it's not. Okay. Let me put a mark on this. Okay, yeah. Sorry about the focus. Hang on just a minute. Thanks. What I wanted to show you was how these copied so that you could just see. So this is my my printer. It's very inexpensive. So this was printed or copied at the black ink setting. So you do get some faint lines behind it. So the reason I'm showing you this is if you like to lay things out, you're still going to get, even though the lines are blue, okay, the lines are blue in the pages, when this copies, you're still going to get some shadowing from the background. Just so you know that, okay? This is copied on the color ink setting, and these are only copied, but you can see on the color ink you get much more of the blue coming through. You don't get so much of the graph lines coming through, just so you can see. And I gave one of these to Clausman because he enjoys doing mandalas, and so here is an example of one that he laid out. This is done with an ink pen, so this is one that he laid out here. You can see that some of it comes through on the back side of the paper, so you really only get use of one side of the paper. And that's all he's done with it. I haven't done anything with it yet. So, yeah. But I just thought it was fun, and I just thought I would show you what these little books look like, because those of you, it's a specialized thing. Not everybody is going to be knocked out about and enamored with these as much as I am. I think they would be really, it's going to be really fun to do. But you do need to know that it is, you know, it's, especially the cover is really flimsy. And so you're going to have to be a little bit careful with it, because if you're not careful with it, it is going to get bent up pretty easily. So anyhow, okay, so I just wanted to share that with you. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to play a little bit with a thing I've had hanging around for a while, because I asked Clausman to make it for me. He's a very handy person to have around. And what this is for, when I show it to you, it's going to just look like a big gray thing. And that's what it kind of is. Let's look at it this way. Sorry, trying to get the right camera. Okay. It's going to look like a big gray thing. That's what it is. And what it is a box, or a tray, more appropriately. It is a tray. Hello, Arlena. And to anyone that I didn't greet when you came in, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. So this is a wooden tray, and what it's going to do is it's going to replace the file box lid. The lid, mind you, not the box, just the lid that I have sitting by the front door that collects the mail. So that is what this is going to be. So Clausman built this, and it is made from, he can tell you, I don't know, birch and ash or something. Don't know. And so he built it for me, and then I sanded it down, and then I put a coat of varnish on it, and then I have coated it with a gray gesso. And so that's why it looks crappy, because it's only got gray gesso on it. So that's what we got here. So I thought we'd just kind of play around with this and see what happens. And so I have some ink. I mean, it's just to collect mail, so most of the time it's going to be covered up, you know what I mean? So I have some Dina Wakley paints here. Birch plywood. Thank you, Clausman. I knew he'd know what it was. So I've just got some different Dina Wakley paints that I want to use up, and so I have them. So there's peacock and lime. I really really like this color, lime. So much so that I bought a second tube of it just so I wouldn't run out. I really like this color in this paint. Turquoise, fuchsia, sky, and those are the colors I got out. So we're going to just kind of play around with it. And I also have some tissue paper, and this is just white tissue paper that came in something, I don't know what, probably packing material from something. And I just took some text stamps. I had 3 different stamps, and I just stamped all over it with those text stamps. So I would have those ready to do something with. So I have that. And what else do I have? Then I took the Mandala Madness cards, which these are our cards, meant for inspiration as cards, also as mandala, as in instructions for doing things on mandalas, to give you some hints and tips here. They also give you quotes and inspirational words, and there are 48 of them in the collection, in the box. They are meant to be inspirational no matter how you look at them, including the box, hopefully. So there are 48 cards. They're all different. And so what I did is I took one of the, I've used several decks actually over the course of since we brought them out, and I use them for art supplies. And so you can take the card and you can separate them, you can split them apart. So they will split fairly easily, so you can just peel them apart like that and pull them apart, and then that way you have access to this side as well as this side. So it will allow you to use the quote and the word and the word and the color, and I've done videos showing you lots of different ways for using those. What I've done here is I've just split them apart and then torn out the words, because I like words, and so I'm gonna put those somewhere on my little mail thing, because sometimes you need to like you need to give yourself something that makes you feel good about when the mail comes and shows up in your room, right? In your world. Oh, good. Malia says she loves her cards. That's great. There is a link to the cards in the description box below the video. Okay. Hold it. Thought I had my phone on mute, but I didn't. My mistake. It alerted me about something. I'm like, what? Where'd that come from? Okay, anyway. So, you guys are going to help me do this. And so I'm going to talk to you, first of all. You've seen kind of what I have. And I also have stencils and stamps and other things. You know, I've got some stamps here. So what I want to know, and I put down the gray coat just so that it had something on the wood so it wasn't naked wood. So what I want to know is, what do you think we ought to do first? What do you think we ought to do first? So I'm going to take suggestions. So you guys put some suggestions in the chat, and we'll decorate this, we'll create this, we'll alter it, we'll do whatever you want to call it, mixed media style together. Okay? So tell me what you think we ought to do. I'll have a little tea break. I'm drinking ginger peach tea today. Ginger peach? Green ginger. Green ginger. I don't know where the peach came from. Hi, Gilly. Okay. Arlene says we need to put color down. Barb. Hi, Barb. Color. Okay. So far we have color is winning. Hi, Janice. Did I say hi to you before? Janice has been working in her glue book and art journal, gluing different types of words and leftover paper scraps. I agree. It's a good thing to do. Tissue paper and then stencil color. Hi, Sherry. Make it Barb style. Hi, Sylvia. She says decoupage. Every time I say Sylvia's name,
I don't see Sylvia in your music.
I'm going to have to put my phone away. Hold on. When I say Sylvia, Siri in my phone thinks I'm talking to her. I ask you, does Sylvia sound like Siri? Anyway. Craziness. Crazy. Yellow. I don't have yellow out. Siri. Yeah. Siri, Sylvia. I don't know. Okay. So apparently we need to put some color down first. So you saw the colors I had out. Yellow was not one of them. Linda McAllister. Get myself a new piece of palette paper. Good thing I have more palette paper. I'm down to my last sheet on this thing. Everybody's agreeing that we might... Linda says hump. Harump, huh? Linda, are you still working on your composition notebook with pen? Dorothy says that Siri answered her too. That's crazy. Craziness. That Siri needs to get a life. I need to stop talking about it because I'm going to have everybody's iPhones going crazy. So I'm just, this is a disposable palette paper because I'm on my very last piece here. So we'll have that in case we need it. The magic in Sylvia's name. That's right. All right, so let's put down some. Now, if this turns out ugly, it's going to be all your fault, people. I'm just teasing. Okay, so let's get out some colors. We'll just put some colors down here. We're not going to use the fuchsia right now. I'm just going to put down the blues and greens. The reason I want to use up this paint is because it's getting a little old and thick. And so, yeah, that's why I want to use it up. Hello, Julie. Julie. Travis. Hey. Our journal guy. I haven't seen you in forever. That's Travis. Welcome. Good to see you in the chat. Travis doesn't live in this area anymore, but he at one time lived in the same town where I live. So I'm glad you're here. Okay, so here we go. There's our colors. We have sky blue, or sky, lime, and is this turquoise? Yeah, turquoise. And then we have peacock if we need some peacock. Anyway, the paint, you can maybe tell by looking at it. It's pretty chunky. So let's just paint. If the only thing we get done today is painting, then that's the only thing we get done. I don't know. We'll just see. So I'm going to put some water in. I have a container here. Travis, I hope you are having some fun creating from time to time. I miss seeing you. So I just have some water. I need to get some paper towels. Have those ready. Look, I'm running out of everything. This is bad news. Okay. So I'm just going to get my brush wet to start with. And what we're going to do is we're just going to, and if my head gets in the way every so often, apologies, but I think this is the best angle for you to be able to see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is just get some color on the brush. I'm going to have to thin it down because this paint is getting chunky, becoming the chunky monkey. And we're just going to start putting some color down here and there, hither and yon. Now, this is going to get affected, the color is going to get affected by the gray undercoat. But, you know, that's the way it goes. So let's just put some color down here and see what happens. I asked Linda that question and then I didn't pay any attention to the answer. So, Linda McAllister, are you still doing your construction or composition notebook thing with pen? Did you say yes? I didn't see it. So, you're going to have to answer that question again. Because I didn't see it. I didn't see your answer. So we're just going to kind of slapdash some paint down here. Slapdash some paint. Don't anybody get too excited about this because we don't know where this is going to go. Okay, so we've got a little bit of lime on here. And then we'll go to another color. Let's go to some sky. So I'm adding a little bit of water into the paint. Okay, so that's what I'm doing when you can't see what I'm doing. So we're just going to slapdash some sky. Because why not? Because why not? So we're just going to put down some color. We'll probably have like a million coats of stuff on this before it's all said and done. This is the kind of thing that's really hard to show on camera, but I thought it might be fun for something different. Oh, it's in the freezer, the composition notebook project. Okay. Well, I had missed seeing if you had any new videos up, but that, you know, sometimes you don't get alerts to people's projects. So just picking up some paint on the palette and then just slapping some paint in here. And I'm just going to work on the bottom of this for the moment because, you know, what difference does it make? Because this is going to get covered up with paper most of the time. Actually, I kind of like having that gray underneath it. Who knew that that would work? Who knew that would work, huh? Okay, so we've just got kind of a brush stroke effect going on. You guys did a good job. You guys did a good job. Okay, so we got some of that going. Okay. I thought, rather than doing jelly prints, I thought about using one of the small round jelly plates to put some pattern in here. So I don't know. We'll see about that. Okay. So I'm going to rinse off my brush a little bit. And now let's put a little bit of, let's see if the turquoise will show up. The turquoise. It's a nice color. Let's see if it'll show up. Shall we? So we've used these two. This is sky and lime. That lime looks really fluorescent on the camera. It's not quite that fluorescent. And here is some turquoise. So let's put a little turquoise in here. So I'm just going kind of back and forth. Let's see if I can put this up a little bit. Just to get some color on here. And maybe we'll go ahead and do the sides and let this stuff on the bottom kind of have a chance to set up a little bit. Sorry if that was a little obnoxiously loud, but that looks kind of cool. I think I like it. What do you guys think? You like it? I mean, you guys are the ones calling the shots here. If you don't like it, it's not my fault. Okay, let's go up on the side, shall we? So we'll turn it, and I'm going to go back to the lime green. It does look good, doesn't it? Shocking that it looks so good. I don't know why I didn't. My faith in you must have been lacking. It's always dangerous to turn things over to the live audience and let them tell you what to do. It's always dangerous. Okay, my head's going to get in the way here for a minute because I'm going to put a painting surface under this so that which is lovely and, horribly yucky. Let's zoom out a little bit, shall we? So maybe you can see a little bit more. You'll see a little bit more of the messiness of my desk. And anything that's back here, you'll just have to ignore. Okay, so let's put some more paint on here. Just this way and that way. Expressionist painting. You just never know, do you, Travis, when you get going. Just go for it, see what happens. Okay, so we got a little bit of green going there. Let's put some here. Just a little while ago, the lawnmowers were going crazy behind us. I'm like, oh, that's lovely, Like I said, if we went from summer, Travis will probably remember this from living in the area, we went from summer straight into 40 degree. I mean, the air conditioner was on this week, That's how hot it was. It was like 88 the other day, this week. And now, last night it was 40 something, 47 or something when I went to bed. I didn't go to bed very early last night, which is kind of typical. But I finally went to bed. I had a bunch of stuff I had to get done. And so I finally went to bed. People, it was, let me get my camera thing so I can talk to you. It was like 1:30 when I got to bed, right? Don't feel sorry for me. That's typical. So it's like 1:30 when I got to bed. And I usually have something going on my phone for a little while so I can kind of, take it down a notch. Do you know that the dog, Muppet, you guys know Muppet because you've seen her on my streams and so forth. That dog at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock, I was just about asleep. Do you know that dog just was throwing a fit? She would come over to my side of the bed and she'd whimper a little bit. She'd shake her tags a little bit, just enough. I'm like, really, dog? I'd put you out before I went to bed, which was at, she was out at like 1 o'clock. Nope, nothing doing. And she had to go outside. And she had to go outside right now. Right now. Well, then I got up and I'm like, oh man, she is not a messy kind of dog. And I'm like, I really, really, really hope that the truth is I hope I didn't have to step in something because I'm not all that sharp when I'm in that state. Anywho, so I had to get up with the dog, and you know how it is when you go down the steps and you put the dog out, you got to put the lights on and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh man, I need some sleep. I got to stream tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, crazy dog. Any of you ever have that? Where you are just about asleep and then some animal decides that you've had enough and they got to have attention like now. Like right now, they got to have attention. I hope somebody's going to keep track of the layers that we do on this so that, because I've got other sides on the outside I got to do. Somebody better keep track. Okay, so we got some green going. She and Bernadette, Becky says she and Bernadette would make a dynamic duo. I'm telling you, does Bernadette do that? Oi, it's like dog. Yeah, what a dog. Anyway, so the next thing we did was we used some blue. So we'll go back and use a little bit of sky blue. That's what we did. The next layer. Okay, this is the one where we started. So we'll go back here. Oh goodness, I'm telling you, I couldn't believe she ordinarily, when she goes to bed, her name is Muppet, and ordinarily when Muppet goes to bed, she is just tuckered out, goes sound asleep, unless she's a very good watchdog. And I thought, well, maybe there was something outside she was concerned about. No, I think she just had to go out. She just had to go out. I'm like, oh, really, dog? What a dog. What a dog. Normally, she goes to sleep. I'm sorry if my head keeps getting in the way, but that's just the how of it. As someone we know and love used to say, known as Race. Yeah. She usually goes to sleep, and that's the end of that. Not last night. No, and they never do this. They never do it, like make you get up like that, unless you need sleep. That's a given. It is a given. Only when you need sleep do they do that. 5:30. 5:30, your cat wakes you up. Oh. You know why my cats don't wake me up at that point? Because they live in the studio and the door is closed. Otherwise, their sweet, melodious Siamese voices would be waking me up. Because that's what they think they should do. So, yeah, that's the reason that they don't get to wake me up. Because there's a door that's closed. Which, of course, in Siamese world, in the world of the Siamese, that is absolutely 100% illegal. So I don't know if I've told recently. I used to tell stories all the time when I streamed really late at night. I don't do much streaming late at night because I can't form coherent sentences apparently late at night. But I don't know if I've told you the story of the cats and how they got here for a while. So when you're doing stuff like this where you're just sort of mindlessly painting, it helps to have a story to tell. Which, by the way, somebody in the chat will know Lena's channel name. But Lena, who's over in Denmark, if you are not watching, if you don't watch her, and I can't remember what day she's on. Is it Tuesday? Somebody in the chat will know. But Lena, who's in Denmark, is doing, she's telling Halloween stories. She did one last week, and that I watched while she was telling it, and she's got the story and the art that goes with it and stuff. It's like fascinating. So somebody will put it in the chat. Miss Linux. Okay, thank you. Miss Linux 2010. So subscribe to her channel on YouTube if you haven't. It's Miss Linux, MISSLINUX 2010. That's all one. That's her channel. Didn't you guys find that amazing? Tuesdays. It was a fantastic story. And Lena is a phenomenal artist. She doesn't have a lot of subscribers. And I'm telling you, she's one of the best kept secrets of the internet. So you guys need to subscribe to her. So search her out. She's on YouTube. She does live shows. She speaks English very, very well. And once in a while she'll get some of the translation from one language, from Danish to American English, a little cockeyed or whatever you want to say, and it's so funny. Some of the things she says are hysterical, absolutely hysterical. Yeah, Kathy Berg says it was awesome and she can't wait till next week. So if you like stories, you truly, she puts so much work into that. So you guys really and truly should go listen to the recording from last week and then tune in on Tuesday. I don't know what time she streams. Somebody else say. Yeah, this is what is so funny. They hid your comment, Julie. It was the story of the Danish bitch. That is the story. That was what it was called. It's really interesting. Really interesting. She had my attention from the get-go. So anyway, okay. So that's that. So go subscribe to her channel. So now I've come back to the turquoise. So that was the sky. This is turquoise. So we're going to put a little bit of this turquoise in here. So anyway, I started to say, I said all that. I sidetracked myself. I said all that to say that when I used to stream late at night, I would tell stories. I don't know how that even got started, other than then I didn't have to read the chat, and so I could just tell stories. So yeah, so I kind of got dubbed a storyteller, and then that is when I sidetracked myself telling you about Lena. Anyhoot. Okay, so the story about the cats. The two Siamese cats that live here. I had cats. I've always had cats from the time I was a little kid. And I do like this color combination. I really like the gray under it too. And this also happens when I tell stories. I sidetrack myself all the time, so sometimes I find the trail again, sometimes not. Those of you that came here expecting a professional tutorial, keep on going, people. Just keep on going. I'm just telling you, this is just for fun. So yeah, I've always had cats, and when my mom used to live here. We built the studio that I'm in. My mother is no longer with us, but the studio that I'm in was her residence that we added on to our home for her. And then after she was gone, we turned it into an art studio. So, and when she came, she had a cat. And so she lived here with her cat named Honey. And then we had two cats because I was... my former life was, I was a piano major in college, so and I've always studied piano. Currently, I don't own a piano, so I'm not playing or performing. But I did that for a long time, and I taught piano for 19 years, and I always studied with somebody. I always had a partner, and we did dual pianos and four hands at one piano. That was always my favorite thing, rather than solo performance and so forth. So anyway, my cats, when the cats would show up, and they always would find us, they either got a name because of the age of our son. You could always tell how old he was by the name of our pets. We had Archie Bunker, that was a rabbit. And there was a dog that used to come and visit us. He wasn't our dog. He was a neighbor dog. And his name was Ernie, from Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street. And we had a cat named Tigger. And then after he got old enough not to name the pets anymore, then they got named from whatever concert I was working on. So we had one named Chopin because I was doing a concert recital program that was primarily Chopin because I loved Chopin. Love the romantic era. And And then we had a little female cat that found us, and her name was Clara, because I was doing a program of Schumann, and Clara was Schumann's wife, and so that's where she got her name. Okay, so anyway, at one point when we were building the studio area, my cats at that time, Chopin and Clara. Oh, you're listening to Debussy? Practicing Debussy. Ah, good. I love Debussy. Love Debussy. Romanticism and Impressionism were the Romantic period, the Impressionist period were my two favorites. I think that looks kind of cool. What do you guys think? I'm thinking I'm liking it. Yeah, I do. I like those colors. Even with the gray in the back, I like that. I do. I think some stenciling would be good on that. So anyway, we had Clara and Chopin, and then my mother moved in with Honey. Honey was a big, fat, yellow tabby cat. And okay, so let's just paint some more of this because I can use up this paint while we're chatting about this. You're loving it? Oh, good. All right, so let's go. And if the camera decides it, you just may have to put up with a little bit of out of focus stuff here, because if I catch it, I'll correct it, and if I don't, it may be a little out of focus. Anyway, so we had Clara, Chopin, which were both strays, and Honey, who technically was a stray also, but I got her as a really tiny kitten, and I gave her to my dad for his 87th birthday, because quite honestly, both of my parents are gone, but they were driving me ballistically crazy, and I got them a kitten, because they didn't have any pets, and I got them a kitten so that they'd quit driving me crazy. The joke ended up on me because my dad passed away, and my mom moved in here with the cat. So the joke ended up on me before it was all said and done, but she was a good cat. She really was. I had nighttime caregivers that stayed nights with my mom so I could get some sleep and so forth. And we had one gal that stayed here overnights, and she wore wigs. She liked to wear wigs. And Honey, my mom's cat, the gal would take her wig off when she would, because they would sleep, so she would sleep on the couch outside my mom's bedroom. And so she pronounced the word wig, W-H-I-G. So she always talked about her wig. So she and Honey had a running contest about who was in charge of the wig. So anyway, okay. So meanwhile, back at the paint job. So when we were adding this addition on for my mom to move in, my cats roamed the place totally, completely roamed everything. This was their place, so they saw it go from the bottom up, and from the foundation all the way up to completion, right? And then when Honey moved in with my mom, she moved in with my mom's furniture, so to her, it was her place. So for a while, we had quite the little miscommunication between cats. And over time, we lost cats one at a time. First Chopin, because both of my two were all close to the same age. So we lost Chopin, then we lost Clara, and then lastly, we lost Honey. And somewhere in the middle of that, my mom was gone. So it's like, so all of a sudden, I find myself with no cats. I've always had dogs too, but I really like having cats. And I had no cats, and I'd never been without a cat. And need a little bit more lime, paint. And so our cats, the cats, when all three of them lived here, they just had this continuing fuss about who was in charge, because it was Honey's stuff, and Chopin in particular thought that it's my house. What are you doing here, you horrible, no good, very rotten, intruding cat. And so it was quite the adventure. Anyway, so we ended up without any cats eventually. And so I was, looking for cats. I'd been looking for cats for like weeks and weeks, like months. I'd been without cats for several months, and I kept looking, asking people, do you know anybody that has cats, a cat, maybe two cats that would need a good home or whatever? No, sorry, And I was scared to go to the Humane Society, because then I'd bring them all home. And cats had always found me. They'd always found me. And so I truly believed that the right cat was going to come along. And I even had a couple of situations that I thought were the right cats that turned out not to be. One that was a kitten, young cat, that I thought was exactly the right cat. It was the same color as my mom's cat, and I thought, oh, this is just meant to be. And I went to pick it up, and the cat would have nothing to do with me. Hissed, spit, it would have clawed my eyes out if it could have. And I'm like, what is this? I was just stunned that there would be a cat that I couldn't get along with, I've always gotten along with cats. I mean, we've adopted wild cats, and not wild, but you know what I mean. Feral cats, and I've been able to work with them, and I'm thinking, oh, everything's right. Everything's going to be great. Becky says she has 4 cats. Son has 3. Holy moly. That's a lot of cats. 7 cats. Wow, Becky, I didn't know you had that many cats. Woo! Woo! Yeah. That's a lot of cats. So, I thought that we'd have no problem, with the cat thing. I was totally proven wrong, and I kept going, what is up with this? I mean, this cat was so bad that it would race up the screen to get away from me. The screened-in porch where I went to, meet this cat. And so I'm like, okay, well, apparently that's not it. I mean, the gal that had the cat really wanted me to take it, and I'm like, I can't take this cat. It'd claw my eyes out. So she could get along with it, but I couldn't get along with it. Like, I even took cat treats. I went to visit it on multiple occasions. And yeah, no go with that cat. And there were a couple of other situations that were promising, but for various reasons didn't work out. I was really was just about ready to go to the Humane Society. And if somebody could have just brought the cat out and handed it to me, I was willing to take kittens. I was willing to take cats that had problems. Yeah, nothing worked out. And so I'd given up. And somehow, when you give up and you stop looking and you stop trying, that's when the best things show up. At least that's what I've found. Okay, so we have some green on the outside of this. So I'm just going to keep going, and we're going to do the same thing. Slap on a little blue and then slap on a little turquoise. So while I'm talking to you, that's what I'm doing. Okay? Hello, Alicia. 3 of them are litter mates. Woo! Hi, Sue. Got yours at a yard sale? Wow. I would have done, I would have done that, but wasn't happening. The right situation it wasn't coming together. So I quit worrying about it, or tried to. I was feeling very, very upset about the whole thing, to tell you the truth, because I thought, how could I be such a horrible cat mom? I've always been a really good cat mom. How could I be that despicable that this cat, wants to claw my eyes out? And I was feeling really bad about the whole thing. And at the time, I was I was doing Pilates with a young gal. Well, she was much younger than me at a gym. Pardon me for clearing my throat so much. When I talk a lot, that's what happens. So anyway, I was doing Pilates with her, and we, every time I'd go, she's torturing me in the Pilates, whatever they call that thing. Whew, let me tell you, that was torture. Cadillac, I think that thing. I mean, what a horrible name for a piece of equipment. Cadillac, my ass. That is not a Cadillac. That's a torture device is what that is. This is like trying to use toast and jelly. I'm telling you. I use up one color, so I put some more out. Then I use up another color. I'm trying to come out even here, paint tubes. Anyway. Hi, Cherie. So, I'm being tortured on the Pilates torture device, trying to keep myself in some kind of decent shape. And my instructor is keeping up with all the shenanigans of the cat adventure. I know, well, all right. Put you in one, have you ever done that thing with I think it's called the Cadillac, isn't it? Looks like a torture device. Whew. Anyway, so she's torturing me and to keep me distracted. And the girl could not count. She'd say, two more. Next thing I'd know, I'd be doing 10 more of those bloody things, whatever it was, on the Cadillac. Yeah, Cadillac. Anyway, so she's keeping up with all my adventures about looking for a cat. And so I've been without a cat now for months, Hi, Judy. So I've been without this cat, any cat, and I'm feeling terrible. It's like, I'm never going to be a cat mom again, because cats now hate me, and I don't understand, and I'm feeling very upset, And I'm trying to get over my mother and, losing all the cat. Because I'm telling you, when I lost her cat, and I knew that was going to happen because she was old, but I'm telling you, it was almost as hard as losing my mom, because it's like she was the last connection I had to my mother. Like, oh, they're going to just lock me up in a bin. Maybe that's why my son keeps checking on me. Maybe he remembers what a mess I was. Maybe he's afraid I'm going to go back to that. So anyway, this is looking pretty. This is looking kind of pretty, you guys. And this is just the bottom of it. I don't know. This could be really nice before it's over with. So anyway, I'm being tortured on the Pilates Cadillac machine, which makes me laugh every time I say it, clearly. And because my Pilates instructor and I would communicate by text message most of the time, and all of a sudden I get a text message from her, and she sends me a picture of these two Siamese cats all wound up in a wad on a chair. And she says, She says, one of my clients is looking for a home for these cats. Oh, I am, Gail. I'm just giving him a bunch of, we're just giving him a bunch of lip service. He knows it. So she sends this picture to me of these cats all wadded up in a chair. I mean, literally, it looked like a two-headed cat. And they're Siamese. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do Siamese. Cannot do Siamese. I thought I was deathly allergic to Siamese cats. Really did. Because one of my sisters had Siamese cats. And every time I'd go visit her, this was when I was junior high and high school. She was older than I was by quite a few years. Every time I'd go and visit her, I would get sick. I mean, sick like my chest would close up. Sick. Like terrible breathing problems. Sick. And to the point that I couldn't stay with her. And so, of course, I thought this was all due to the Siamese. Now we're going to turquoise. So, whoops. Ooh, mercy. Okay. You guys are, I'm sure I'm making you sick with the focus issues, but yeah. Hang with me. Sooner or later, the focus will straighten out. I can't disable the focus on these cameras because of the software situation. Doesn't matter. We're gonna soldier on, people. We're gonna soldier on. If you can't stand, if the focus is driving you crazy, then stop watching. How do you like that? Quit watching. Can't do anything about it. So anyway, so I am convinced that if I take these cats, they're going to kill me for a different reason. They're not going to kill me because they're going to scratch my eyes out. They're going to kill me because they're going to close my chest up and suffocate me or something, you know. Which I don't tend to be quite that dramatic, but yeah. So anyway. But I really wanted some cats, you guys. I really, really, really wanted some cats. And they needed a home for whatever reason. And I'm like, okay, what's wrong with these cats? You know, that she's placing them. Because, I mean, these are some high dollar, high bred, you know, they had papers and everything. I'm like, well, what? Why is she getting rid of these cats? Well, she was the person that owned them, she was a nurse, I think. And I think her job was taking her out of town somehow. And she was leaving these cats too much and she felt guilty about it. And so she felt like she needed to place them. And so I'm thinking, okay, so she needs a place for cats and I need cats. So they're Siamese. So what if I can't do this? And so I said to her, I'm not sure whether my body will tolerate them. You know, I don't know if it's their dander or what, but I don't know if I can tolerate them. I said, can I come over and meet them? And she said, no, I'll bring them to you. And I'm like, well, that's a little unusual, you know. That's a little unusual. Hello, Gail. We have 2 Gails in the house today. Glad you're here, both of you. We usually have lots of Susans. Today we have multiple Gails, and I don't know what else. Anywho, so, okay, did I do this back here? I don't remember. We'll do a little bit more. What time is it? 2:47. Okay, so she said, no, I'll bring them to you. So I'm like, well, okay. Well, she came over on a Sunday afternoon. I had already decided that I was going to, whatever the cats that I got, they were going to live in the studio. My studio space is nice and big for them, you know. I mean, it's plenty big for a couple of cats to live in. They're not going to be abused, and then I could decide when I want them to come and visit in my house. But I could control, especially with Siamese and being super vocal, they were going to have their own kind of space to live in. This looks pretty darn good, I have to say. Yeah, I kind of like it. The part down in the tray down here could use a little bit more paint. So if you will indulge me, I'm going to slap a little bit more paint down there, since I'm involved in this crazy story now. So anyway, she brought him on a Sunday afternoon. I've decided, you know, we have everything ready. I have the litter box. I have the... actually, you know, I was only kind of ready. It wasn't a total readiness because I was totally unprepared for the fact that she was going to bring them with their jammies and their food. She brought everything with those cats. She brought food. She brought their jammies. She brought cat litter. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. You know, she brought them lock, stock, and barrel. And she brought them in a dog crate that was sized big enough to fit a Great Dane or a Rottweiler. Now that's a scary proposition too, when you have somebody that brings you cats in a crate that size. Because I'm like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with these cats? They have to be transported in a Rottweiler dog crate, right? It looks pretty good. I'm liking this thing. Kind of liking this. All right, I'm not going to put any more turquoise paint on this. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take that paint and put it in an art journal. So let me set this off to the side for the moment. And grab an art journal that's got room in it. And I know I'm not watching the chat very well. So let's find some pages in here. Maybe we'll put it on this. Yeah. There's got to be something back here that we can slap it on. Most of these pages have got a lot of stuff on them. Okay, so let's just slap some paint on here. And whatever's on these pages could run. I don't know, because I don't know what it is. What kind of ink is on here? So anyway, when she walked in, it took two of us to carry the crate in. And she came in with all this stuff. And I'm like, are you planning to leave him? And she said, yes. And I'm like, oh, I thought you were just bringing him to get acquainted with me. And she goes, no. She says, I'm just going to leave him. And I said, well, what if this doesn't work out? She says, well, just call me if it doesn't work out. I'll come back and get him. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Anything that comes here to live is here for good. You just don't. Oh, it scared me, because I'm like, I can just see myself being winding up in the hospital that night. Because these cats are going to kill me. You know, you mean, Joycey said, can you reuse the palette paper? You mean to use this in your artwork? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean, can you just clean it off and reuse it? I'm not sure what you're asking me, Joycey. Write it in the chat and I'll try to look for your question. So she left, and I have put the cats in the sewing room. Yes to both. I'll show you an example of why it doesn't work so well to reuse them in a in your artwork, so I'll show you that. And you can reuse the palette paper if you get the paint off of it enough to be able to make space for the new paint. Sometimes it peels off. Sometimes the paint will peel off and you can reuse it. And sometimes you can wipe it off, but there's some things like gesso. If you have gesso on the palette paper, it sticks pretty tight. But if you remind me in a second, I'll show you an example of a page where I did reuse the palette paper on the page and what the result was. So remind me in a minute to show you that. So I have these cats. I've put them in the sewing room because I didn't know what else to do with them exactly. And I knew that I could shut the door because I now not only have these new cats, but I also have dogs that have to be introduced to these cats. And Muppet, the one that I talked about earlier, who got me up at 3 o'clock this morning, I didn't have any idea how she was going to react to cats, you know. So that was, I had to have a way to let everybody get acquainted slowly. All right, we'll just stick the rest of this over here because why not? That's probably what this color is, although I don't know that for sure. Can you tell I like this color? So we opened the door because there's 2 cats in this crate, this giant crate. They're both at the back, the very back part of the crate. And I opened the door, and Charlie, the big fat chocolate point Siamese, I mean, she was so serious on leaving them here. She brought their papers and everything. Their folder with their papers and how much she paid for them and their vet records. I'm like, oh, she's serious. She's going to leave these cats. She did. And so Charlie took one look, and sauntered out and gave us a big Siamese meow and started exploring. Chance, the blue point Siamese, on the other hand, you couldn't have pried him out. You couldn't get him out of there with a crowbar. That cat wasn't coming out for love nor money. And I'm like, oh, this is great. I'm going to have a cat that's going to live inside this giant dog crate that my room would not tolerate. My room did not have room for this massive dog crate. And I had said to her, I said, what am I going to do with this dog crate? And she said, well, just call me and I'll pick it up someday. Okay. All right, so there's Joycey. That is how much paint, because some of it dried on the palette, just so you can see. You can't always get it off. So put it over there for the moment. Just cleaning some paint out of my brush. So I'm like, this is great. Now I got a cat, one cat. I have 1 out of 2 cats. Because one cat won't, I mean, I was pretty sure he was going to come out and scratch my eyes out. The other cat came out and went, oh, hello. Is this where I live now? Oh, okay. I like living here. I'm fine. But I have this other cat that I'm like, I don't know what this cat's deal is. I don't know what this cat's deal is at all, right? And so I just kept the door shut. They're back. It's in this room back here. So I just kept the door shut because I didn't want them, like, you know, hiding someplace where I could never find them again. And so tea break, apparently. Story time and tea break. And so every, few minutes I'd go check on them to make sure everybody was okay. And Chance stayed at the back of this crate, scared to death. That cat was scared to death. And he stayed in the back of that crate for hours and hours and hours. Charlie, in the meantime, has come out. He's looked around. He's got a little bite of food. He's used the litter box. He's just, scoping everything out. And he's going, yeah, this is a nice place. I'm going to live here. I'm going to like it. Yeah, you my person? Okay, you're my person. I thought I had a person, but that person is not my person anymore. You're my person. I'm okay. Everything's cool. Chance is smashed in the back of the crate. Never to be seen. Hey, Ruth. Never to be seen. He's in the back. And every time I'd look in there, he'd give me the, thing like, get out of my face. I don't like you. I hate your guts. I'm going to claw your eyes out the first chance I get. Let me get this journal while I'm thinking about it. So the next thing that happened is I looked in there about the fourth or fifth time I've checked to see if he's in there. And he's gone. He's not in the crate any longer. Giant crate is now empty. It's now empty. And this used to be a bedroom, right? There's only so many places that you could hide in there. That cat was nowhere to be found. Nowhere could I find that cat. This is on day one. And so I said to his friend, Charlie, who at this point, nobody has a name, because those cats came to me named Frank and Garth. Now, I realized that I renamed them Chance and Charlie, but there was just something about Frank and Garth, Siamese cats being named that just didn't really resonate with me. So the cats have no names, so the no-name cats are in here. I've lost one no-name cat. The other one is like, wants to come out and sit in my lap and be friends. And I don't know what to do, right? I don't know what to do because I have looked everywhere in this room. I've looked in every nook, every cranny. I've looked under the furniture. I mean, there's just no place for this cat to hide. It is a big cat, right? And I finally found him after several hours of looking in that room. I finally found that cat. He'd gone up on a shelf and he'd gone in behind a box, and he was crammed into a corner behind the box. And he stayed there, I don't know for how long. I think for several days he stayed in there. And then at one point we moved the box so we could, coax him to come out. Darn if that cat didn't find another place to get behind. I had to start the whole process over and find that cat again. It went on and on. Anyway, so Joycey asked the question about could you use the palette paper? Palette paper is like freezer paper. So it's coated on one side and it's like paper on the other side. So the coated side is where the paint goes, right? So this is, these silhouettes were the palette paper that was dried, and it was beautiful. And I thought, well, I'm going to use that and put it in here on these pages because I really loved how they turned out. Even after putting this in here and putting it down with matte medium and whatever, the paint is still peeling off of it. So yes, you can put it in places because the back side of it is a paper surface, so you can attach it, but there's no guarantee that the paint is going to stick on it permanently, because I could still, see that? I can still, you see that? I can still peel it off. So what I do is I just don't pick at it unless somebody asks me a question, and then I pick at it. So yeah, this is palette paper, and you can see when I put them in here, the color was totally and completely smooth. So yeah, there's the answer, or there's my experience with that. You are welcome. So it took, the rest of the story is, it took months and months for these cats to, for Chance in particular, to come out and, to be, I won't say months. It took weeks, several weeks. And, he he would poke his head out of the room, and he'd look at me like, with very suspicious Siamese eyes. He'd look at me. In the meantime, I'm waiting for my chest to close up and send me to the hospital, which normally that I never think about stuff like that. But based on past history, I'm like, these cats are going to kill me. They're Siamese, and I'm going to have to call, the whole bit. And do you know that I never reacted to those cats? My breathing apparatus worked perfectly. Everything was fine. I'm waiting for several days. I'm like, these cats are going to kill me. They didn't. I'm like, okay, well, maybe they're going to be here. Maybe that's just going to work. But now I got one that hates me, one that likes me. And then a few weeks go by, and the first one to jump in my lap was the one that had hidden from me all that time. He's the first one that took a chance, which is why I got named Chance, to get into my lap. So the moral of the story is I don't think I was allergic to the cats. I think I was allergic to the sister. That's the moral of the story. I think that was the problem. Just by chance. That's right. That's right. So, hey, Dawn. Hi, Patricia. So that is how the cats came to be here. And it took quite a while. And then one day they became the sponsors because they would hear me talking when I was streaming. And so they would hear me, and then they would come out and they would beg and beg and beg. And so the first time that I plopped them up here on the table after I'd been streaming, I plopped them up here with me. The very first time they laid down and looked in the camera, and I'm like, this is just so weird. What cat does that? And they have done it ever since. So they got dubbed the sponsors because they let me stream, and then they goon for the camera. Dawn is let's make a mess. Yeah. Dawn, you gotta quit this hiking stuff on Fridays. The first Friday of the month, you gotta quit. That's all there is to it. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let this this thing that we've been working on, which is it's a tray for holding mail. So all we've done is just to slap some paint on it. It had started out with gray gesso, in case you weren't here in the beginning. Started out with gray gesso on it. I'm going to let it dry, and I don't know what's going to happen next. I will try to either record what I do next or else do some more streams and show you, because quite honestly, I've talked myself right out of energy. So, yeah. Okay, so speaking of sponsors, shall we see if they want to come out? And they probably won't goon for the camera today because I've talked about them and said how well they do. Anyway, that's how the cats came to be here. They didn't kill me after all. And we all became friends. And here's another fun fact about Chance, the one who stayed in the back of the crate for so long. He likes coffee, and I didn't know that. He also likes smoothies. I didn't know that either. Until one day I came in the studio, and I'd had my smoothie on my table here. I'd been working. And I came in, and he's sitting on the table, and he had licked as far as his head would fit in the glass, had a fairly big opening. He had licked the rim of the glass, and he'd licked all the way down as far as his little big fat head and tongue could reach. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How long has he been doing that when I didn't know he was doing that? Right? Coffee. I caught him doing the same thing with my coffee cup one day. I had it sitting on the table, and I came in, and he's just happily lapping the coffee out of the cup, out of my mug. And I'm like, oh, yuck. I have seen where those, yeah. Ugh. Anyway, he is a weird, weird cat. Charlie will have nothing to do with any of that, but Chance, yeah. So how long have I had them? Hi, Catherine. They came here, they were 5 and 6 when I got them, and I think they've been here 7 years now. Yeah, 7 years. So they're getting some age on them. All right, we'll see if they want to come out and visit today. Oh yeah, you're always ready, aren't you? You are. You're always ready to come out. Because he's so tiny. He's so tiny. Are you coming over? Or are you just going to talk? Whoops. Let's see if I can get the right camera. Then you could see where he is. This is the cat cam that I'm using. It's a handheld camera. So that's why it's so smooth. The camera works so smooth. So there's Charlie. See what he does? He gets on the table. Are you coming up today? Okay. All right. If you start coughing, you're going to have to get down. Just saying. So that is the story of these two, how they came to be here. And why they do this, why they lay on the table like this, and they will point themselves at the camera, especially this one. He is the real camera goon. I don't know why they do it, but they've done it from the very first time. And he will irritate me, and so the first time I did this was to try to get him off the table, to make him leave me alone. You know, I was doing this just to make him leave me alone. So you see what he does? He just comes back for more. He's rotten. I can't do this to Charlie, but I can do it to Chance. He's purring like crazy. Yep, he says do it some more. I'm telling you, they're so goofy. They're so goofy. Okay, so that's going to be the story. So this is my computer back here that I watch, that I stream out on and all that, so you get to see some of that stuff. And you can tell Charlie is very abused. See, this is how much stress there is about streaming. This is how stressful it is. Anyway, yeah. Oh dear. So thanks for joining me today. And I think we're back on schedule. And I will either do some more on this wooden mail holder tray thing, and I'll record it, or else we'll stream again. Anyway, I've worn out for today. So that's the story of that. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And come over to How to Get Creative. Love to have you be part of the group over there and the VIP class. Those of you that are here, your class is tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow, and I don't know if there's anything else that I needed to tell you. But if you came in late and you didn't see the miniature room box, you scroll back to the beginning and you'll get to see that. It's kind of a fun little thing to look at, which I just thought I'd show you for grins and giggles. Okay, thanks everybody for joining me. Remember to get creative today, because you know it's easy. Don't forget, if you don't have your Mandala Madness cards, you want to get those. Comes with a free mini course and a book of designs that is exclusive just for the Mandala Madness cards. And that is that. Thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed seeing you today, each and every one of you. The Marriott TA streams later tonight. I think it's 7:30 Eastern or 7:30 Central. And so check her out. Be sure you check out Lena, Miss Linux 2010, and etc., etc., etc. I know there's lots of other people here that stream, but those were the two that caught my attention at the moment. Anyway, see you guys later. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you again soon. And remember to get creative today. You know it's easy. And we all say bye for now. Bye, everybody.